7 different languages to more than 500 million viewers each week. The World Wrestling Federation, the worldwide leader in sports entertainment.
Everybody, and welcome to WWF New York.
I agree with everything they're saying, JR.
What are they saying, Mr. Cornette?
Well, they're saying that
just what I thought.
I'm Savio, and that's the other guy, and we're going to win the match over these other guys.
You don't know a word of Spanish, and neither do I. Los Boricuas from South Bronx to take on New Jersey's own Headbangers.
At a total combined weight of 492 pounds, March and Crusher, the Headbangers.
Well, folks, last Monday night on Raw, Thrasher took on Henry Godwin in one-on-one competition that got just a little bit out of hand, Mr. Cornette.
Well, that's right. It looked like Thrasher was going to come out on top when Phineas got involved, which brought Mosh into the fray. And unfortunately for the Headbangers, while their initial flurry was successful, the Godwins grounded their attack. And then, with a slop drop on Mosh, things really got brutal.
Out would come the leather straps, and the Godwins would commence to lashing the Headbangers with those leather straps, just like the Godwins hope they will do at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night, January the 10th.
Well, the Godwins are the masters of the country whipping match, but the Headbangers have a point to prove, and they've got some welts on their backs, courtesy of the Godwins, that they'd love to get some payback for.
And right now, Los Boricuas, Savio, and Miguel taking advantage of Mosh turning his back, and that was a fatal mistake, and it looks like that Jesus and Jose are being escorted back to their locker room by referee Tim White.
Well, that means it's going to be 2 against 2, but you know, there's a new member of Los Boricuas that's here tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 5th guy. I heard him calling for him all day, a guy named Felix Navidad.
Well, you stop. Hip lock takeover by Mosh, who goes upstairs on Savio Vega. Irish whip far side now.
Ooh. And Mosh with that slam dance, he just slides through the air. And now it looks like the Headbangers, a very precision teamwork, has got the Boricuas off balance.
Headbangers, former WWF Tag Team Champions, taking over on Los Boricuas. Double drop kick by Thrasher and Mosh. Outside goes Miguel. And right now, this match belongs to the Headbangers. Folks, right here this week, we're going to tell you all about ticket availability for this Monday night's live Raw is War event in the Nassau Coliseum.
Don't give up hope. It may not be lost.
We're going to document another savage attack by Kane on his brother, The Undertaker,
in which he almost coerced The Undertaker into fighting back. Almost.
As Savio Vega makes a tag now to Miguel Pérez. And Miguel, the second generation star, misses with the elbow. And side headlock applied by Thrasher.
He had good height on the dive. Unfortunately, there was no water in the pool.
Counter, reversal, and thus far, the Headbangers are out wrestling Los Boricuas.
And as long as the Headbangers can keep the Boricuas off balance like that.
Power slam, and the cover got a near fall.
The Bangers are going to be firmly in control of this match. They have really not let the Boricuas create an opening so far.
Headbangers don't want to pull a New York Jets and choke in the 4th quarter here.
Ooh.
And there's a distraction in Savio Vega. Well, Savio waited until the referee's back was turned and then did the damage to Thrasher.
And that's the mark of a good tag team. They're going to take advantage of the referee's back being turned. It's not cheating if you don't get caught. Look at Miguel.
Miguel now not going for the cover with the rear chin lock on Thrasher. Let's show you how Thrasher got in trouble here.
Well, here was the opening that was created. Savio with a kick to the back of the head, enough to distract Thrasher, and that did more than distract him. Jerking that neck down across the top rope brought Thrasher down, and that's where he's been ever since.
Another tag, good exchange here. A very timely exchange from Miguel Pérez to Savio Vega. Ooh. Hard knife edge chop by Savio. Irish whip to the far side. Here comes Miguel. A drop kick. Nowhere to go for Thrasher. And a spinning heel kick. The home run blow by Savio. And we'll be right back.
1-800-COLLECT presents the Slam of the Week. 1-800-COLLECT, the collect call that saves.
You can take a joint out of socket.
Oh, belly to belly suplex. Oh, what a move there by Shamrock. An explosive belly to belly. There's the ankle submission. The ankle submission. The ankle lock. And D'Lo Brown is tapping out. Shamrock wins it convincingly by submission.
The Slam of the Week was brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. 1-800-COLLECT, the collect call that saves.
We are back on WWF New York Tag Team action in progress. Los Boricuas against the Headbangers. Let's take you back and show you how Los Boricuas gained the advantage here.
Well, this 1-2 punch. First Miguel with the drop kick and then the spinning heel kick by Savio that almost took Thrasher's head off. Put Thrasher down, and he has not seen the light of day since that happened.
Or we are coming up to a tremendous weekend here in the WWF. This Monday live in Uniondale, New York at the Nassau Coliseum.
Swing and a miss.
And there's a great counter move by Thrasher. Swing and a miss, countered right into the belly-to-back suplex.
And now Thrasher's got the opportunity to make that tag to Mosh, and he'd better make the most of this one because he may not get another chance. Savio is to the corner and tags Miguel.
Miguel has been tagged, and so has Mosh. Mosh and Miguel one-on-one here.
And Mosh has got Miguel down at his feet. Sends him off, and Mosh is really cooking. Here comes Savio.
Big backdrop on the hairy man. And now Savio is knocked down as well. Savio knocked outside. The Headbangers have this match under control.
They're setting up the stage dive. If they nail this one.
Wait a minute. There's Jose and Jesus. Los Boricuas now with a 4-on-2 advantage on the head. But wait a minute. Here comes Skull. Here comes 8-Ball. DOA. And they've got 2x4s.
And look at him swing that lumber, JR, and the Boricuas have headed for the hills.
The Boricuas are headed back to South Bronx. The DOA came to hurt somebody with those 2x4s. Skull and 8-Ball coming to the aid of the Headbangers.
And boy, the Headbangers had that match won, too. They had the stage dive ready.
Disqualification, the Headbangers!
Headbangers get the DQ and the moral victory, but they could have had a pinfall if not for the intervention of the other two Boricuas.
Let's take another look here, ladies and gentlemen, momentarily, and show you what we're talking about. The stage dive was imminent, as was a victory for the Headbangers.
It was hanging over their heads. Thrasher was on the top rope. Mosh had him set up, and here came the other Boricuas, and it was all downhill until DOA made it to the ring with that heavy lumber.
And I'll tell you one thing, they meant business to DOA, and Skull and 8-Ball are standing by now with our colleague Michael Cole.
DOA, Skull and 8-Ball, it looks like this feud with the Boricuas is now escalating into a war.
You damn right it is. It's time for DOA to get serious. If this is the way you want to play it, then this is the way we're going to play it. We're going to be up and down that all night long.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, those two big men mean it. And folks, we mean to tell you right now that the event in the Nassau Coliseum this Monday Night Live, Raw is War, is officially sold out. However, a limited number of tickets, between 500 and 1,000 tickets, will be made available on Monday morning, first come, first serve at the Coliseum box office. But now, folks, let's turn our attention to Madison Square Garden. It will be Saturday night, January the 10th. perhaps the biggest live WWF extravaganza in a long, long time at MSG. And inside a solid steel cage, it will be settled once and for all. The Undertaker and Stone Cold will meet D-Generation X.
Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, will battle the man from the dark side and Stone Cold the Rattlesnake in a match where there's no way out, no way to escape, nowhere to run, and nowhere to hide.
Folks, get your $3 off coupon by going to a Rite Aid Ticketmaster outlet for whatever you do. Don't miss live WWF action at Madison Square Garden. And still to come, Faarooq of the Nation of Domination will be in one-on-one competition.
Plus, he's big, he's large, he's just plain huge. He's the world's strongest man, he's Mark Henry, and he's coming up.
And when we return, The Undertaker met The Rock last Monday, and wait till you see what happened between The Undertaker and Kane.
Experience the deafening thunder that is Vader. The dementia that is the deranged mankind. The haunting mystery that is The Undertaker. And the unrelenting rage that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Experience WWF The Music Volume 2. There are 15 of your favorite WWF original jams in all. To order, call 815-734-1161 or send a check or money order to the address on your screen. This album is available in stores, but why delay? Get yours now. WWF The Music Volume 2.
Welcome back. This morning, WWF New York is brought to you by Burger King. Try the new Burger King fries that taste that beat McDonald's fries.
And by Skittles bite-sized candies, taste the rainbow of fruit flavor.
And by Jax, collect Tag Team Series #1 from Jax, available at most retailers. Well, folks, last Monday on Raw, The Undertaker met the Intercontinental Champion, The Rock. And going into the match, we knew that the Nation of Domination, or at least we thought the Nation of Domination, would play a huge part in this matchup. But little did we know that Paul Bearer and Kane had other thoughts.
The Undertaker's younger brother, Kane, as the holidays are a time of family and a time of togetherness, decided to play his trump card. Kane would literally make the holidays a living hell for The Undertaker.
The highly intelligent Nation of Domination, especially this man, The Rock, trying to keep The Undertaker's vertical base and keep him down, keep him from that vertical base. And Rock now, again, kicking The Undertaker right back down. Whether you like him or you don't, The Rock is a smart athlete, but look at The Undertaker fight back.
The Undertaker battling back. Big right and left hands and then a right to the face. But another kick to the midsection. The Rock trying to regain control, but The Undertaker now blocking the rights, coming back with rights of his own. Whips The Rock across the ring, into the corner. Oh, but The Rock catches it with a big elbow.
Taking so much punishment The Undertaker has. The Rock really dishing it out here.
Rock again whips The Undertaker into the corner, but he telegraphed it. The Undertaker, a desperation move. He caught The Rock in the back of the neck.
The Undertaker's gonna overcome all the obstacles right here. It should be over.
There's two, almost three, but Rock somehow got the left shoulder up.
D'Lo up on the apron. What's this all about?
The Undertaker made sure he went down quickly, but he's distracted again, and The Rock again capitalizes. The Undertaker whipped off the rope. Rock misses with a right hand. Oh, look out! Look out!
Rock going for the right. A choke slam with one arm. A one-arm choke slam by the Phenom.
This'll be it. This should be it. The Undertaker setting him up.
He's going to take it for the ride for the Tombstone Piledriver. Can The Undertaker overcome all the odds?
The Rock doesn't know where he is. Here it comes.
The Nation's not going to be able to say the Rock.
Rest in peace, Rocky.
Maivia just got planted.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute.
Another.
Don't tell me this again. No.
Another chapter in Paul Bearer's prophecy.
My God, what in the hell? Here he comes. Here comes Kane.
The younger brother of The Undertaker, led by Paul Bearer to the ring.
I got a feeling this may be the night. This may be the night that The Undertaker takes his little brother and takes him down hard.
And if he doesn't, JR, is this the night that Kane puts The Undertaker down once and for all?
think? Paul Bearer has some sort of plan here. Paul Bearer would love to ruin everybody's holiday, especially the Undertaker's.
Last week we saw Kane slap the Undertaker. Undertaker did not retaliate.
I invite the entire world to feast your eyes upon your phenom. Look at him. You're nothing but a shell of a man that you once were.
I don't believe that. I'll never believe
I
that.
gave you one last chance last week, dead man, to step up and face your brother. And what did you do? You tucked tail and ran.
I don't think he ran. He refused to fight his brother, as he said all along he would not do.
I have to say that I am totally ashamed to say that I ever had anything to do with you.
I'm sure the feeling is mutual.
I can't believe that I once stood by your side so proud and called myself your friend.
Look at the look.
You're nothing anymore. Nothing at all. And what's so sad, your poor parents are celebrating this holiday season with the maggots and the worms.
Good God.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Oh, look out. Look out. He went for Paul Bearer.
Kane's attacking his brother. Wait a minute.
He's going to fight back.
The Undertaker. The Undertaker's had enough.
Oh, no. He had a chance. JR didn't do it. Right hands.
Kane is hammering and battering his brother. The Undertaker refusing to fight back.
Fight back, Phenom. Come on, you leeches of the night. Look at your Phenom.
Kane pummeling away at the Undertaker. The Phenom
There's your Undertaker.
refusing to fight back, refusing to defend himself.
Is this the night the man from the dark side is extinguished once and for all?
Groveling on his knees.
Oh, no.
Taker had a chance to fight back. He had a chance to strike. He didn't do it.
Absolute carnage inflicted on the Undertaker by his brother Kane. No one has ever manhandled the Undertaker like Kane is right here before our very eyes. The Undertaker is hurt.
Desperately trying to grab the rope to get to his feet.
I told you, he's nothing.
Oh, Paul
And
Bearer
here
loves this.
is your proof.
Paul Bearer loves this.
The broken form of the Undertaker slumped in the corner.
1998 will be the year of Kane.
How much more will the Undertaker take? Or maybe more specifically, how much more can he take? Oh my gosh!
Welcome to hell. For the first time, it seemed as if The Undertaker would raise a hand in anger to his younger brother Kane. But at the last moment, he couldn't bring himself to do it.
Dead man.
But Paul Bearer's words still must ring in his ears. Can they push The Undertaker over the edge?
Well, folks, still to come here on WWF New York, the bodacious Sable has a Christmas gift for everyone. I know I've been nice.
Plus the debut of the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, on WWF New York.
And when we return, he's the leader of the Nation of Domination. Faarooq will meet upset-minded Flash Funk next.
Right now, you can hear who JR credits and discredits in the most unique year in review wrap-up. Hear who's the most obnoxious in the business, who's the #1 free agent. And that's not all. Folks, you know the number, 1-900-737-4WWF. It's $1.49 per minute. And kids, you must have your parents' permission before calling. Call now.
1-800-COLLECT proudly presents the WWF Royal Rumble. It's live Sunday, January the 18th from San Jose, California. 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save.
The World Wrestling Federation title and a whole lot more will be on the line. The Undertaker takes on Shawn Michaels in a casket match. This is The Undertaker's chance for revenge.
And The Rock has challenged the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, and the Intercontinental title will be on the line at the Royal Rumble.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit.
Where is The
About
Rock?
to enter the ring, accompanied by fellow Nation of Domination members D'Lo Brown and Kama Mustafa, weighing 270 pounds.
Perhaps the most honored amateur athlete in the history of the World Wrestling Federation, that man, Faarooq, who had his football jersey retired at Florida State. The only other athlete to have that accomplishment is Deion Sanders. And here comes the upset-minded, as we mentioned, Flash Funk.
His opponent, from the city of brotherly love, weighing 243 pounds, Flash Funk.
Well, Flash Funk may have upset on his mind, but he's got the odds stacked against him in form of the Nation of Domination, because not only does he have to contend with Faarooq, which would be difficult enough under any circumstances, but there's Kama Mustafa and D'Lo Brown out there just to make sure that Faarooq gets a fair shake.
Yeah, right. And we do not know the whereabouts of the Intercontinental Champion, The Rock, but I do understand that he is in the arena.
Maybe he's consulting with somebody on the status of the Gulf crisis. What was that all about this past week on Raw?
I haven't got a clue. The Rock's agenda is The Rock's agenda. And it looks like that maybe Flash is hearing the nation's doctrine as professed by their leader, Faarooq. Maybe there's a little recruiting going on here.
And a handshake. And Faarooq is saying to Flash Funk, hey, let's forget about all this animosity. Let's join sides. He's even offered him a way to get out of the ring. If I was Flash Funk, I believe I'd take it.
I believe the first thing I would do would be very, very careful here. And there comes a knockdown from that huge, thunderous clothesline by Faarooq. And Faarooq is, boy, he is in a bad, bad temperament here.
Well, we said Flash Funk was a great athlete and a quick athlete. We didn't say Flash Funk was a smart athlete. He took his eye off the ball, JR.
And that's a big mistake. Flash Funk was trained in Japan in the Japanese dojos, the art of catch-as-catch-can wrestling. And right now, Flash is just being manhandled, overpowered by the former two-time football All-American from Coach Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles.
When he was trained in Japan, he evidently was not trained in the art of backstabbing, cheap tricks, and dirty tactics. He should have boned up on that chapter.
The Nation of Domination rapidly becoming the strongest entity in the WWF. And look here, a little mugging going on. And in the holiday spirit, Kama Mustafa was nice enough to assist Flash back into the ring.
Well, that was awfully sweet of him, so that way Faarooq could knock him out. Wait a minute! Hurricane Run of a Flash!
Big time move there by Flash now. Flash Funk is striking with suddenness. And Faarooq on the outside. Watch, here comes Flash. And baseball slide.
Right into the rail.
Folks, we talked about the live Raw is War event this Monday in the Nassau Coliseum being officially sold out. Only a few tickets will be made available Monday morning. But if you don't have a ticket, you can, of course, be with us live on the USA Network this Monday night.
Look at this big move by Flash Funk. He turned the tide of the match for quite a while there, but now
business picked up.
Turned it again.
Tremendous spinebuster slam by the supremely athletically gifted Faarooq. And Faarooq now has everything under control, and Flash is thrown outside, and we know what's coming up here.
Well, there go Kama and D'Lo Brown, and it looks like the streets of New York City at the holiday season. Well, a typical street scene.
Referee, the referee being detained by Faarooq, and we've been, I guess, privileged here to be graced by the presence of the People's Champion.
Honored, blessed.
The Rock. And look at this beating. Again, the referee, oblivious to this unprovoked attack with a leather strap. It's got to be over. And look at Flash Funk kick out. Folks, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. one to WWF New York. The Rock looks on as Faarooq goes one-on-one with Flash Funk. And look at unfair advantage being perpetrated by the Nation of Domination.
D'Lo Brown making sure that Faarooq keeps the leverage advantage.
Yeah, no kidding. And certainly D-Generation X leveraged their way to the European title this past Monday on Raw. And man, were we all suckered in by Shawn Michaels and Triple H plan to, well, they got one over on us. But right now, officially,
speak for yourself. I never fell for it for a second.
Well, Helmsley is the European champion, and this Monday night on Raw live on the USA Network, Helmsley must defend the European title against Owen Hart, and that is going to be absolutely awesome.
First time that we've seen Owen Hart in the ring in action since he returned with his vendetta against the Generation X, and also we're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin take on the artist formerly known as Goldust and presently known as a fruitcake. He's nuttier than a Christmas goose.
Look out here, cover and Flash Funk. I tell you, Flash Funk may not have the greatest one-loss record in the WWF, but it gives you great effort. He's never going to lay down on you, and he's taking one hell of a pounding right here. And Flash comes back with a spinning kick. Faarooq been knocked down, and Flash again going upstairs. Flash with a spinning heel kick, and Faarooq a little spaghetti-legged.
He's got to create some opportunity, and he can do it best for himself off the top.
Crossbody. Flash with a crossbody press, got a 2 count. And Faarooq must regroup here. Or be upset. Uh-oh, look out.
He's going for that Dominator. And if he plants him, that's it. He planted him.
And Faarooq.
But wait a minute. He turned him over. Faarooq made a mistake. His man is too close to the ropes.
Faarooq turned Flash the wrong way.
Faarooq thinks he got it.
It may be academic anyway. And while The Rock is offering Faarooq some advice here, some coaching.
Watch Flash.
And Flash Funk. Wait a minute. Flash Funk surprising Faarooq. 1, 2, 3. Flash Funk has just upset Faarooq.
I can't believe it. It looks like The Rock's advice backfired. Flash Funk has beaten Faarooq.
And I think Faarooq's in shock, as are we.
The Rock looks deeply wounded.
Well, this is about as shocking as the Jets folding their tent last week.
Well, Rocky trying to explain to Faarooq what he was trying to accomplish, and it don't look like Faarooq is buying it. You can take a look again and see that as Rocky was giving the instructions to Faarooq on what to do, there came Flash. Quick move, grapevines the leg, rolls him up into a sunset flip position.
The Rock should leave the coaching to the Big Tuna or to Jim Fassel. Well, I'll tell you what, I think The Rock's getting a little bit too big for his britches.
Well, it looks like he's certainly telling Faarooq exactly what he intended to do, and looks like all's forgiven.
Nice smile there, champ. Ladies and gentlemen, still to come here on WWF New York. You'll see the unbelievable size, power, and athleticism of the world's strongest man.
Plus, Sable's Christmas message to everyone, that little elf. And now here's a great way to start your new year with a new truck.
You can't walk his walk.
And I know that better than anybody.
You can't talk his talk.
My mouth is starting to get wet already.
But you can drive the truck. The Stone Cold Steve Austin specially equipped Chevy Z71 pickup. Because we're giving it away in the WWF Royal Rumble sweepstakes. To enter, call 1-900-RUMBLE-98. It's $1.99 per call, and there's no purchase or telephone call necessary to enter. Simply handprint your name, address, and telephone number on a standard-sized postcard and send it to the address on your screen. You must be 18 and have a valid driver's license to enter. Deadlines for entries is Monday, January 12th. But don't delay. Call 1-900-RUMBLE-98 and enter now. The call costs $1.99. 20 runners-up will receive a Royal Rumble merchandise gift pack valued at $250. Winners will be selected at random and announced during the Royal Rumble, January 18th on pay-per-view.
Welcome back, folks, to WWF New York. Don't forget, we're going to be at the Nassau Coliseum this Monday night. It is officially sold out, but a limited number of tickets will be made available on a first-come, first-served basis this Monday morning at the Coliseum box office. But we can tell you this, the good news as far as tickets are concerned is that great seats are still available for the big event in Madison Square Garden, James, on January the 10th, when 4 men will get it on inside the steel.
And it will be a hot ticket when that cage match comes about with The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They're going to settle it in the Garden.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Intercontinental Championship will be at stake when the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, will meet The Rock.
Plus, Kane, the younger brother of The Undertaker, meets Chains in a revenge match. Kane is the man who put Crush out of the DOA.
Plus, we'll see Dude Love take on the returning Jeff Jarrett one-on-one.
Sable, if you're able, come on out from that reindeer stable.
Well, with that grade school level poetry we heard last Monday in the War Zone, Mark Merrow brings Sable to the ring. However, when we saw Sable, she didn't quite look like she usually does, JR, because Mark Merrow had seen to it she was a bit more covered up.
All the Marvelous One wants to do is humiliate Sable, but there's a problem there, and that problem is the big Italian Tom Brandi, who got involved after Merrow's victory Monday night.
Well, I got a real easy solution for Mr. Merrow. He will be the star of the show when Sable...
come on.
Oh, for good measure, a low blow. When
Oh, yeah.
Sable runs up and leaves him because he pushes her to it, then he's going to be the star of the show. He's going to be the only member of it.
Wait a minute, here comes Tom Brandi. Brandi on his way to the ring, and Brandi's not going to stand for this any longer. Brandi and Merrow got in that locker room brawl over the weekend. They've had quite the rivalry in the last couple of weeks. A drop kick by the big Italian.
Brandi, he's all over Merrow.
And Merrow making a U-turn. And, Merrow hit his knee in the security railing. Merrow goes down. Tom Brandi just not going to stand by and watch Marvelous Mark Merrow take advantage of any athlete, especially the light heavyweight Scott Taylor. And it looks like Merrow's this left knee.
Hey! Look at Sable. She's walking away from Merrow. She turned her back on Merrow.
I don't blame her.
And she...
Oh, there she goes. Now that's what I was telling you about earlier.
Whoa!
Now that is Santa's little helper. What would you like for Christmas, Mr. Cornette?
I've got a list. I'm just wondering what she was helping Santa do.
I'm going to check it twice. Now that's what you call spreading the old holiday cheer right there, folks.
Well, folks are most happy that Sable finally unveiled herself.
I would like to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas.
That should fit my stocking.
As a matter of fact, I think she, along with an 18-wheeler, would fit your stocking. Well, JR, whether it be Nassau Coliseum or Madison Square Garden, when Sable gets a huge ovation, it just drives Merrow crazy. But at the Garden on January 10th, Tom Brandi goes one-on-one with Marvelous Mark. Wonder whose side Sable will be on.
That's a good question. We'll find out on January the 10th in the Garden.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. About to enter the ring from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, weighing 262 pounds, Tom Brandi.
Tom Brandi, the big Italian, has a wonderful opportunity on January the 10th in Madison Square Garden. And Barry Houston being introduced for the first time here on WWF New York. You know, a lot of folks, I think, thought that Brandi, better known in some circles as Sal Sincere, was going to be relegated to preliminary status his entire career in the WWF. But I tell you, James Z., that may not be.
Well, I think that Brandi thought that by adopting this Sal Sincere persona that it would get him some attention, some notoriety in the WWF, but it only worked against him because he wasn't being himself. And ever since that Merrow caused this controversy, and Brandi dropped that Sal Sincere name and that whole silly Italian mess and concentrated on being Tom Brandi. He is undefeated in the WWF.
Well, he is Italian, you know.
He is Italian, but
nothing wrong with that.
He doesn't wear a big floppy hat, and he doesn't say, I love you all, and all that other stuff. He gets in there. He's a big 6'3", 275-pounder, and he wins matches. He's a veteran. He's got about 10 years of experience. He's a good-looking athlete. And I'm a big fan of Tom Brandi's. I wasn't of Sal Sincere's.
Well, apparently Sable's a pretty big fan of Tom Brandi as well. And of course, Sable and Sonny in the special double cover edition of the Raw magazine. Now, folks, you want to talk about a swimsuit edition of a magazine. Let me tell you, this is something special. And it's going to be available this Tuesday at newsstands everywhere. 2 collector's covers. I don't know why they call it a double cover, because I think they're only half covered. Or less, but in any event, Barry Houston trying to mount some sort of offense here. And thus far, it's been too strong, too much power by Tom Brandi, but there's a knockdown by Barry Houston. And Houston's got a lot of quickness. Corkscrew elbow on Brandi. Houston's a good-looking athlete, but I think if he was very tough, he would have already been in jail for murdering the guy that gave him that haircut. Well, I tell you what, you talk about tough. This Monday night on Raw, folks, if you can't be with us in the Nassau Coliseum, tune your TV sets to the USA Network and be with us live. You're going to see one of the most raucous, enthusiastic crowds that you will ever see, because they are great in the Nassau Coliseum for Live Raw is War. You think there's going to be some signs there? Maybe some people chanting? Some people screaming, some people yelling. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley defending the newly won European title against Owen Hart. I can't wait to see what kind of ovation Owen Hart gets when he meets Triple H this Monday night on Raw. Watch Brandi. Good crossbody. That's a nice move by the big man, leaving his feet. Brandi has everything, seemingly anyway, under control here. He has been at a steady pace. He hasn't exerted himself. The only offense that Houston has really gotten in that damaged Brandi was when he's gone to the eyes a couple of times. You can't work the eyes out on an eye machine in the gym. But Brandi has really got Houston under control. High back body drop there. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, I can remember the first time that I walked into Madison Square Garden for my first WWF event. As far as broadcasting was concerned, it was the greatest thrill of my career. And you got to believe that Tom Brandi has some of those same butterflies, because he's got to be knowing that on January the 10th, he's got an opportunity to make a name for himself, to be somebody in Madison Square Garden. And let's don't kid ourselves, that's where it counts. Well, the greatest thrill of my career involving Madison Square Garden was the first time I went the cab ride on the way to the arena. That was a thrill. It was death-defying. Brandi sent to the ropes. Houston misses the clothesline. Look out here. Whoop. Full Nelson into a slam. Oh, you could almost feel the air drive right out of the body of Barry Houston. And a very convincing victory for Tom Brandi. He covered the man with authority. And I think that's the same thing that he's going to do to Mark Merrow on January 10th at the Garden. That is, unless Merrow is able to execute his patented Galata. We'll take another look at how Brandi won this one. Swing and a miss, swinging a block, hooks up the full Nelson, and boom, the back of his head right on the mat. Brandi wins. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's 415 pounds. He is Olympian Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, will join us when we come back. He dunks too.
I don't dunk basketballs or run the 40 and 4 flat. But when I fly, I'm the most dangerous athlete alive. And those who say otherwise always eat their words.
You can do all of your holiday shopping and get your favorite WWF Superstar merchandise at the new WWF Shop Zone online store. Find us at shopzone.wwf.com. Check it out now.
And now let's take an in-depth look at the strongest man in the world, Mark Henry.
I have 22.5-inch calves, 36-inch thighs, 25-inch arms, 65-inch chest, 23-inch neck, and I weigh 415 pounds.
But Mark Henry hasn't always been a mountain of a man. He was born in Silsbee, Texas, a mere 7 pounds. But by the time Mark was a 4th grader, he weighed a whopping 220, a fact not lost on his classmates.
Well, you know, kids picked on me and stuff, but, you know, I handled that.
These days, Mark Henry stands over 6 feet tall and weighs in over 400 pounds, touting a matching appetite.
When you are at the peak of your training, you ingest 5,000 calories a day, is that right?
5,000 calories a day. You know, people say don't eat pork and that.
Right.
But I love bacon and sausage, man.
Right.
I can't give it up.
Even with such an insatiable appetite, Mark's body fat is amazingly under 17%. Can you believe that? Mark's massive muscle mass has earned him the title World's Strongest Man. While holding American records in the snatch and clean and jerk, Mark continued to triumph, shattering the deadlift record in 1995, hoisting over 900 pounds.
I went out and I was like, you want 900? You want 900? You know, and the crowd was like, yeah. You know, and I was like, well, you got it.
Feats of strength for the world's strongest man, however, aren't limited to competition.
I should point out, in fairness, though, the trunk was empty. All right, I'm sorry. It's only, you know, come on, you don't want to scam people here.
The groceries home.
All right.
Mark's incredible athleticism and dedication earned him a chance to compete in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. Henry was voted captain of the United States weightlifting team and became the heaviest athlete ever to compete in the Olympics. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. On this lift, Mark suffered a back injury, forcing him to withdraw from competition. But even though Mark didn't capture gold in Atlanta, the former Olympian's dreams of gold never faded. Riding on the hopes of America, Mark Henry set out to fulfill his other lifelong fantasy.
When I was a little kid, I used to watch wrestling all the time. And the late Andre the Giant picked me up out of the crowd before, you know, as a little kid. And I ran around telling everybody in my neighborhood, Andre the Giant picked me up, we're friends, you know, our little kids, you know.
Mark achieved mild success after debuting in the World Wrestling Federation over a year ago, crowning the King Jerry Lawler. The world's strongest man may have underestimated what it takes to be a WWF superstar. Henry broke his ankle during training, sidelining him for over a year in which many believe to be the end of his brief career. But now Mark Henry is back and ready for WWF superstardom.
Well, I got hurt in training, and you know, it was just a freak accident, and I wasn't a wrestler. I was a weightlifter. I was the world's strongest man. You know, I took that time off. I studied. I learned. I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna make mistakes. I am gonna make mistakes, but I'm gonna do something about those mistakes. I'm gonna be more aggressive. I'm gonna be ready, and I just can't wait to get in the ring.
The Sultan awaits the arrival of Mark Henry. I want to thank the fine folks at WWF Superstars for that video package of Mark Henry. Of course, Superstars on Sunday mornings on the USA Network at 11 o'clock.
And his opponent from the state of Texas, weighing in at an even 400 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
And that introduction from the world's most dangerous announcer, Howard Finkel.
And Mark Henry with a knockdown on the Sultan. Well, folks, Mark Henry, as you saw in that feature, is one of the most gifted big men from an athletic perspective that you will ever see. Dunks a basketball, deadlift 935 pounds, and folks, he did it drug-free.
Well, I'll tell you, even Mark Henry himself will admit he's not the greatest wrestler in the world. He's not polished yet. He's learning holds and moves one step at a time. Right now, understand, he's working on a bear hug, which is simple and basic. But in the hands of a man with that tremendous strength and power, it can be just as effective as any move in wrestling today.
tree-like forearms by Mark Henry, and Mark Henry literally manhandling a man that weighs, you gotta believe, near 350 pounds. I want to tell you, I don't know if Mark Henry's going to be in the Royal Rumble on January the 18th or not, but if he does enter, he's going to be awfully hard to lift over the top rope and throw to the floor.
Well, he's got a low center of gravity, and he has tremendous balance for a man that size, and he's over 400 pounds. So I'd like to know who's going to throw him over the top rope.
Oh, man! The Sultan turned inside out by Mark Henry. Henry grew up in Silsbee, Texas, goes for a cover, and Mark Henry, notice he paused a little bit after the clothesline. Again, a move of inexperience, and something that Mark Henry will certainly eliminate as time goes on.
Well, inexperience on Mark Henry's part is not as deadly as it is on somebody else's part, because even if he makes a mistake, how do you capitalize, JR? How do you hurt this guy?
Well, right there, we'll see.
In the throat, and then,
right down the chin. A martial arts kick on the chin, and then a knockdown by the Sultan. Now we're going to see if Mark Henry can take some punishment. We're going to see what Mark Henry is made of here as he is on the defensive.
And I don't like Sultan doing that. He should have got on the man while he was down instead of bringing him back to his feet.
And Mark Henry, he's got the bear hug. Mark Henry shaking the Sultan like a little rag doll. And the 350-pounder says, I quit.
He had enough. That was it.
Well, Mark Henry may have a long way to go, but I believe he's going to get there. And ladies and gentlemen, whatever you do, don't forget to join us this Monday night. If you can be with us live at the Nassau Coliseum, it's going to be electrifying. If not, I hope you'll join us on the USA Network live this Monday night.
It's going to be a great way to ring in the new year. WWF action at the Nassau Coliseum, JR.
Folks, it's going to be great. Thanks for being with us here on WWF New York. For James E.